Okay, we're back with Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice, which is a sequel to the 1984 film based off of Stephen King's short story. This one, whereas in the first film I wasn't a big fan of it, but I didn't mind it, it was okay. Again, I there was some stuff I liked in it, but here Isaac's not in it because I don't know what that's all about. It's weird because I swear he was in. Oh, I thought he made an appearance at the end, but nope. Here it's basically a tabloid journalist and his estranged son encounter a cult of murderous children under the spell of a cornfield demon. I do like how it has continuity with the first film. Well, the events of the first film, where kids that were left behind pretty much get. It's weird. Like they take like some of the kids, I guess, onto a school bus, and then they take them off to, I don't know where they're taking them. But then they leave behind some kids to live in this other town, which is weird because I'm like, one, these kids murdered their parents, and then these people are like, oh, we're just gonna let them roam about, invite them in our homes. I'm like, what? I didn't understand that. And then the fact that they're like always together, around town. No adults, like all the adults in this movie are dumb to me. Also, a cool fact, Jesse's little sister from Freddy's Revenge, his little sister in that film, she's in this. She's all grown up. And, yeah. I'll just say that. Christy Clark, who plays Lacey, she falls for this Garrett, Danny character, one of the main characters. She falls for him, like, really fast. I don't know if it's mainly just because he's from New York and she wants him to take her there. Which, whatever with that. It's directed by David Price. The music in this is okay. It's not as memorable as the first film. I'll say that. It's shot fine. The acting was decent. Some of the kills in this I thought were okay. There's like one interesting scene or kill where one of the main evil kids, who's like the new leader, Micah or whatever his name is, Mika or whatever, he gets possessed, I guess, and pretty much there's a scene where they're in a church and he like carves this voodoo sculpture of this guy, one of the doctors or something, or adult, and he keeps carving into it, and every time he carves into it, the guy starts to bleed through the nose or his ear, and then he dies. That was like the most interesting kill. I'm like, how come you don't just and then like they make Wizard of All references throughout this movie, which is whatever. I guess it was trying to be humorous a bit in spots, but you have this one Indian character, which I liked his character. He's your typical Indian. Well, in a way he is, but he was still interesting. Where he's not really much in the film. He is in the climax, which I thought was interesting how they incorporated him back into it. Because at one point he gets shot by a bow and arrow, I guess that kills him, but then he comes back and then he's able to get at least one kill in. But I liked some of his dialogue about, one with the land or whatever, and spirits, and I liked his dialogue with the journalist guy, John Garrett, the dad of Danny, where they're talking, and as he's pulling off in his truck, he's like, well, maybe the kids were just crazy. Pretty much mentally, So he's not like your typical Indian guy. Like, he sort of is, but he was sort of funny. He was a bit different. Although I don't like what they did with him at the very end, where they literally had him in his Indian get up, and I thought, oh, he survived, but then nope, he fades into the land. I'm like, oh. But I actually liked his character for the little bit that he was in it. He's like a professor, I believe. But yeah, I could not buy the fact that, like, these other townspeople. Oh, there's a subplot about corn being molded, and maybe that's what made these kids crazy. No, because in the first film, it's established as a demon, or that they worship or whatever. Basically in the corn, but nope, they weren't. I'm like, I like that you're trying to give a somewhat explanation, I guess, but then it doesn't make sense because it's not a hallucination, or doesn't make them really crazy. I mean, they're crazy kids, but they're not hallucinating from it. Like, it's actually a demon possessing and living in the corn and making them do stuff. But yeah, overall, this one was okay. We don't know what happens to, the 4 survivors of the first film. I guess they just changed their names or whatever, But here, they're a good happy ending, at least, Likeable characters, somewhat. I kept getting Revenge of the Sith vibes when the Danny character, like, he's the Micah or Mika, whatever, evil lead kid in this tries to recruit him into, the cult. So he's trying to Palpatine him. I kept getting Revenge of the Sith, even with the scene where they kill all the adults in one scene in the church. They light it on fire in a blaze of glory. Execute Order 66. Yeah, this one was okay. It was fine. Is it better than the first film? I don't know. I mean, again, Christy Clark, it was like, oh my god. But, and she's not even in this a whole lot, but, I mean, the dad character was okay. Danny was okay. The Indian man was pretty cool. Interesting. It's just an alright film. It's a time waster, really. I mean, if you don't like any of the other films, I would say just watch the first and the second one, because they are sort of like a two-parter in a way. I mean, the first one ends, where you don't have to have another movie, but I like how this one, at least, like, both of them actually are connected in a way. But then you have the third one, and then the fourth one, which also, I'm not sure how I'll review the rest of these films on where I'm watching them, because they're not really available on Tubi, let alone on the site that I'm watching these on. Like, very few are on the site that I'm watching them, so I won't be able to watch 7 or 8 or 9 or the rest of them. Really, maybe the remake I can watch, the 4th one or 5th, whatever it is, the 3rd one I can watch. I think that's it. But yeah, it's whatever. It's not a bad film. Not the first 2 films so far are not bad. They're just time wasters, just okay. Yeah. Please, hope you enjoyed this video review, this movie review. Leave comments down below what your favorite the franchise is. I really don't believe this should have been a franchise. should have just ended with the first film, or maybe a second film. But the rest of them, so I don't know.